You know what it is. 2 letters, 1 word, the meaning of life. Yeah. Previously on Kimba TV. You know, so you could do something like this. Yeah, we were all planning, basically all the lions, if they were bullish, we were talking about and planning this long right here. Yeah, so make sure you rewind and get caught up, but we killing it, baby. We juicing, baby. Mic check, mic check, mic check. How we doing? How we doing, juicy lions? Mic check, mic check. We Gucci, we Gucci, we Gucci. Check, 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 check. Good morning, lions. How are we doing? Happy Tuesday, y'all. Gurkha says, did we do any kind of TA yet? You know, not really, but for the most part, nothing has changed. Look at where we are. Do you remember what we talked about? Whether it breaks out to the upside or breaks down to the downside, you don't get bullish or bearish on the penetration. You get bullish or bearish on the what? Living Forest says, is it more likely to go 45K before sweep that poor low? That's the wrong question to ask. Yeah, so try to get better with the type of questions you want to ask. There is no really such thing. What you would want to do first, Living Forest, is you would want to see if you can get penetration with good volume and then do a bullish retest with good volume. Then you have the first time you have broken out of the resistance with a bullish retest. That would increase the probability of going to 45. If we break and if we make a higher high and we get above 43.6 and we turn that into support, then you have an even higher probability that it's going to go to 45. And the most important thing, CoinNerd actually said it in the Discord. This is the 11th symmetrical triangle in the last 2-3 months. So what do we always say? If you can't remember what happened before, you're trading the shape and pattern for the first time every time. So the bigger question, Living Forest, is can you remember all the data and the price action and the useful information that you were supposed to remember from the 11 previous symmetrical triangles in the last 3 months? So, because the bigger concern would be if you can't remember even one symmetrical triangle and you can't remember if it was a CVD, was it volume, was there a hidden bear div on the breakout? So really the question wouldn't be asking me if there's a higher probability. You would have to try and remember all the shit that happened before and go off of what you think is your subconscious bias. But first things first, Living Forest, how many symmetrical triangles have you seen in the last 6 months or a year? How many of them can you remember? How many of them broke out to the top side and how many broke out to the downside? Did any of them have a fake out like this one? And if you can't remember anything, then maybe you need to focus on taking better notes. Sounds good? So those are the ways that I would kind of start. Alrighty, but this is not the first symmetrical triangle that we have seen, correct? Right? So hopefully you're not in a situation where you can't remember shit. And this is literally, even though this is like your 50th symmetrical, you have to play it like your first because you can't remember anything. And that's okay if you can't, because then that's your opportunity to maybe get better at remembering things and taking better notes. So whatever it is that you're going to be able to juice on today, as long as you feel like you're a better trader than you started this morning, it's a juice. So that's what it is. I remember some of them good. And this is where you figure out who can remember the more relevant stuff better. Sometimes people remember useless shit. Sometimes people remember really good shit. So that's how you kind of separate and filter out between the good and the bad traders, if that makes sense. So it's not just good enough to remember. You got to remember what's relevant. You know, some people will remember the useless shit. Some people will remember all the alpha stuff. But it depends on what you're trading. Are you more of a volume trader? Are you more of a imbalance trader? Are you more of a div trader? So that's how you would start. Sounds good, Living Forest. But to answer your question, though, I would just say bullish retest, good volume, make higher highs. I mean, even things like this, Living Forest, if it does this, isn't this a harmonic? Which one bounces from the 886? And how many harmonics give you the opportunity to either reject off of golden pocket or 7.5? If it goes to 7.5 and turns golden pocket into support and it makes a higher high from there, that's even more edge that you could go to 45, right? Living Forest. So whether it's a Fibonacci mathematical thing, whether it's structure, right? So resistance, 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 resistance. Can we turn it into support? No. Resistance, resistance. Can we turn it into support? Yes. So it could be structural. It could be mathematical. It could be imbalance based. Yeah. So I don't know if you were here yesterday, Verilur, but we planned for it for about 2.5 hours. These are 30-minute candles, and so, you know, however long that was, maybe 4 or 5 hours. Planned for it. People got filled, talked about it, juicing. You don't want to be the guy talking about I'm scared to long right now when we spent 4 hours yesterday preparing to get long right there. Okay? Let's get nasty, y'all. Yeah, but you do not want to be the guy talking about I'm scared to long here. You should have been longing down here, brother. So the people that were, and I don't know if you were here when we were doing it, but I will usually do something like how many hands up if you're thinking about longing, hands up if you're going to long the blue line, hands up if you're aiming for a higher low. We'll do shit like that. And a lot of people, you know, were aiming for it because if that long isn't going to work out, then nothing's going to work out type of shit. And sometimes that can be like the inverse edge to take the long. But anyways, Yaman. So, and then like the follow through for that tiny bullfrog is you would say, well, then you really don't want to get back inside the triangle because the concept of the more times you hit it, the weaker it gets. You don't want this shit to keep getting tested because the probability that this breaks goes higher. So it's like, so for example, if you're in a long here, and so let's say that you saw this, the bounce from here, and you saw what it did when it couldn't bounce from here. Everybody stopped their shit out. I'm pretty sure that everybody that longed here, well, I'm not pretty sure, but everybody that longed here theoretically, and I would too, would have all their stops here. I would even advise y'all. And that probably means it's gonna sweep. At the end of the day, y'all, we're still retail. You just got to do the best that you can. I would love to see if it's going to actually make a higher high or come down here. I would love to see that live with y'all together. You know what I don't want? I don't give a shit if it does this or it does this. I don't want this for the next 3 hours. I don't want this for the next 3 hours. Holy fuck, please no. Marvel says their blockchain was off for a couple hours. Okay, just forget everything that I said then, because I don't know. See, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about with these shit coins that I don't know. And do you know what I would do? I wouldn't trade it. Because those types of variables, I don't know if it's truly bullish or bearish priced in, going to be used for bait. Yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. Then I don't know. That throws the whole wrench into the mix, so I don't know. You know how many times I longed a pretty bullish pretty obviously bullish news and got wrecked, and how many times I shorted something, and then I did the reverse psychology where I bet against common sense, and I got wrecked 90% of the time no matter what I did. So it's up to you, but my track record is horrible. Got it, still have from 80.8. Well, then, you know what you could do, brother? Especially since you see this. Why don't you do this? Stop. I would actually be really interested in longing this. And I would love this. Let me know if you like really want to closely look at ETH USDT. I'm not going to get baited on this, you know, but in terms of the overall, like, okay, I'm starting to get ready. I'm down to long ETH. You know what to do? You know what to do? Yeah. How many of y'all have been, this has truly been super sick. I wish there was some way that we could have like made money from this, you know, but I'm just glad that we got to see it and see it together, you know, swing fail. We were like, what the fuck? I still remember when it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon with maybe like 4 hours left until daily candle close. And I was like, oh my God, this is not going to be a swing fail pattern. This is not going to be a swing fail. What the fuck? Sure enough, with the last couple hours, Babingus, RK Man says that wick was nuts for sure. So step one, the wick that we wanted to see fully prophesized in the last couple hours, that was insano. It broke out of the multi-year trend line strong as fuck and with volume. That was awesome. Not that big of a deal. We do not get bullish on penetration. We're patient enough. All right. We had the swing high, swing low. I don't know how many of y'all thought I was crazy, but how many thought y'all I was crazy when we pulled this fib and I was like, we're going to wait down here. Well, goddamn, sure enough. How many of y'all were here when we were talking about, let's not bite on the first bounce. It's probably just going to go to 0.5 and come right back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I thought this was going to get tapped, but nonetheless, we have a daily bull div, ladies and gentlemen. And again, that's what we wanted. So can't really hate on it. But again, I'm not trading ETH BTC, so I don't have to sit here and be like, fuck, I missed it. That's not the case at all. Bitcoin can dump. This can skyrocket. Bitcoin can dump. And ETH can dump. But ETH just doesn't dump as hard. So this doesn't translate directly into go ahead and long ETH. But if we're gonna long something, it might be more beneficial to put more of the capital in ETH instead of BIDI, because even if it dumps, it won't dump as hard as BIDI. So, anyways, let's get nasty, y'all. But what a journey with ETH BTC. Now let's try to really get nasty and put our try-hard pants on and see if we can translate some of that into juice on a nice little ETH USDT. We were fucking around with it. But you can do some TA on ETH BTC and what you would think to be the high. And then all you got to do is take what you think the Bitcoin would be, its high, and then multiply by that. So if we thought that it could potentially hit 0.0589 or whatever, and we think Bitcoin could hit 51,000, that puts ETH at 38, 39. And even before we did that first grade math, there was TA, targets, pulls, fib extensions, a whole bunch of shit lining up in the 38, 39 too. So, you know, you could try hypothesize maybe that if we do hit a 50, 51, 52 biddy, then the 37, 38, 39, 4,000 ETH is in play. So would love to see if I can get, for sure I would for sure would want an entry starting from below 2,500. I'm not going to give up entirely on the 1904, but can you imagine, because I'm going to do it on the tap bit for sure. And I might put even more money on the tap bit. Oh, God damn it. But I got 500 in there, 560K or whatever. Imagine if I do a little bit more depot and take it up to 600, 700, 15x. Could be a $10 million ETH long, y'all. Imagine a $10 million ETH long from 1904 or 1900 or 1850, and then take that bitch to 3,900. And the whole way up, motherfuckers talking about, oh, this guy got lucky. Oh, that's fake. Oh, my goodness. Schwiggity. The saddest part is that they're completely missing out on the opportunity for them to learn and juice the fuck up themselves. All because of emotional copium. Somehow, some way, need to explain to themselves that it's not possible because they can't do it. But if you've been here, y'all know what it is. It's really not that hard. Actually, the hard part is the execution. We still have to put in the blood, sweat, and tears and get stopped out a couple times probably before we get that long that we want, right? How many times do we get stopped out before we usually get that Pico top short? 2-3 times? That 900K short in Hawaii? Stopped out 2-3 times before. We got wrecked a whole week on long attempts before the long worked on the full rotation play the week after that. So it wouldn't surprise me if I get round tripped, if I get Kimba airlined 2-3 times before we get the actual long that actually sticks. So we'll do our best. ETH BTC has been quite a tell for us. And so, we'll try to get in on that thing. RG Bargy says, might have to do 5 milli. I see you, RG Bargy. Yeah, I would love, whether it's a 38.5 sweep or a 1904 sweep, I would love it. You've been here long enough to know that what would really prevent me from shorting 45.46 is if we grab 38.5 first, right? And so I could actually see ETH BTC pumping. Biddy goes to 38.5. ETH only goes to 1900. They both swing, fail, sweep, and then we go. Because then Biddy, I would expect 50, 51, 52. And then with ETH BTC already pumping, oh my God, 1900 to 3800, 39. Oh man, a lion can only dream. Longers from yesterday, we already talked about the TP. So TP1 complete. TP2 around 43.6. TP3 at 44, and then, however many, 30%, 40%, 50%, whatever you want to let run through to 45 and 46. Do you, boo-boo? Alrighty, and then Boo Gamma. Probably not going to run up there so quick, but I do like that this is doing its thingity thing, but too bad that we're not going to get to see it fully play out. The triple was juicy. I wanted the dub. Couldn't get it. Well, 55 minutes until market close. Let's get nasty. Can we get nasty, ladies and gentlemen? Latuche up. Math up. My pleasure, Drop Dead Betty. Let me know if you want to talk about anything, y'all. Shout out Do You Boo Boo. Shout out Lee Kwok. Shout out Drop Dead Betty. Drop Dead Betty, are you in the long? Did you take a short? Are you in a hedge short with a little bit of the long still running? Do you not believe that bullish retest? So you're actually waiting for that to get swept from McCulley, then take a long? What you doing? Let me know if you have any questions. Ikendobi, do you think that this is going to come to the trend line, or was something? So one of the things that I would say, Ikendobi, is the volume is not the best for a bounce. That wick, not the greatest for the bounce, and the open interest not that great for the bounce. Okay, but in the end, it doesn't need everything that I would want to see for it to bounce. People can continue to mark it in right now, and it's not gonna mean much. Alrighty, you can see exactly what's going on in terms of where it's finding resistance right now, right? So just based, I don't know if you were here earlier, we were kind of like fucking around with this, but stay above this, whether it's time based or whether you actually go to like 8A6 or 757A6 and come back for a structural bullish retest. Maybe it just can, close, good time, close. But, turning that into support, making a higher high, right? That's really all it would take, and then we would be looking for 43.6, but really 44 sweep. Alrighty, and if you really wanted to like pull an Crypto Carl the Moon and do like targets for the triangle, then you're also going to end up in the 45-46 region. I'm not going to really hit you guys with that. If you were here yesterday, I said that I wouldn't take this long, and I didn't. I don't have anything other than this. So, you know what I'm saying? I have my S&P thang. I got my S&P thang, but that's about it. I'm still doing the same plan that I've had. So, I'll add and enter on other exchanges at the 45-46 zone. And the 44 sweep, I'm not adding or taking. And 41.3, 38.5, if it sweeps, I'll take a long. And depending on what the open interest looks like, I might even close the short. I would think that the open interest nuking at 38.5 is more probable. So I could see a scenario where I close all of my short at 38.5 sweep, I am fucking sitting here in the owner's suite, like popcorn, like fuck, man, what's gonna happen at that blue line? Is are the Laguna Bulls gonna be able to goal line stance? That's goal line defense right there, ladies and gentlemen. And basically, you got the what's like what we need to do is oh my god, is that an NFT? It's possible to do a completely useless and valueless NFT, right? But imagine if we started doing like trading cards for the imaginary AI generated players for the Laguna Bears and the Holdana, the Laguna Bulls and the Holdana Bears. Cause I could see like the Laguna Bulls. You could get like a 400-pound, defensive tackle. I don't even know what his name would be. You know what I mean? And you've got that hard-hitting safety, almost should be like a hybrid linebacker motherfucker, but you got like D tackle and you're stuffing the, like that all-out blitz type of shit. You got your linebackers right here, and then you got a Derrick Henry type, running back, bear, back here. No jumbo package, y'all. Jumbo package, double tight. Another offensive lineman has checked in. Fuck it, bring in the fullback. Fuck it. This is a 260-pound running back. Just straight dive. Or you know what? Shout outs to Marshawn Lynch. Let's just go power. Let's just go power. Let's pull and do power. You guys down? So that's the battle. That's the battle right here, y'all. Here is BTC all leverage. Can I get an exclamation Bugatti? All right, let's take a look at these levels and y'all tell me what you think. Here we go. So this is all leverage KingFisher. Where the liquidity at? Where the liquidity at? Yeah, don't get carried away with that 27. Come on, my guy. But come on. I mean, at least, 42. Schwiggity schwaggity. All leverage. There you go. Okay? And then let's go take a look at high blocks. So this is 12 hour. All right. This really hasn't changed whole stream. So you've got to the upside 43.4 and then downside 42.5, 42.450. Roger that. On the 7-day, which is on the YouTube as well, you have a little bit from 43 all the way to like 44.6, but really you have a giant cluster from 42.150 all the way down to 41.250. You got another cluster from 39 to 38.7, and you have a really big cluster at 34.3. And then on the 1 month, 1 month, the most immediate would be that 430,000 around 44.2. Alrighty. So it's all confluencing with levels that we've talked about. There's two parts to this shit, at least for me. It's identifying the levels, like levels of interest. So, not that hard to pull out TPO thangs, volume thangs, fib thangs, and get the levels of interest. It's a little bit harder to actually watch the CVD, anticipate front run hidden divs, you know what I mean? Trying to front run the open interest collapsing, all that stuff. Having to try hard and notice that it might not necessarily be on Bybit, BTC, USD, but it's the Binance CVD that's leading the way. So don't, get stuck on just one particular thing. You should always keep your head on a swivel. We got Howl Shot. Never give up. Roth Boss. I just got here, LMAO. Well, Roth Boss, you've been here long enough. We really haven't seen anything change too much from yesterday, other than the fact that we have punctured the triangle. But you and I both know that we're not going to get too bullish on the penetration. It's really about the bullish retest. You could make an argument that it pixel touched the actual resistance line. But aside from that sort of pixel perfect structural setup, open interest, CVD doesn't look that great. Doesn't mean that people won't market smash and just drive this up. At the end of the day, higher highs, and we'd be looking for 44 sweep. 45, 46 is where I would actually add and enter on TapBit. Alrighty. So for me, nothing has really changed, and it's kind of dependent on, individualistic sort of tolerances on what you would consider a bullish retest and what you would consider successfully being outside of a range, right? So you can draw the triangle a little bit different here and there, pixel down here and there. We were playing with it earlier. Yeah, but it wasn't any sort of fib or anything like that. But yeah, that being said, let's get nasty. And I'll try to be here as early as I can tomorrow. But if the bullish retest is Gucci, then, 44 is probably coming. There's a lot of confluence up there. So, alrighty. And even if it is a 44 sweep, I wouldn't add or I wouldn't enter. 45, 46 is the only place that I would add and enter. So on that side, nothing has really changed. Same levels if it nukes in terms of what I would be looking for possible longs and shit. So nothing changed too much, brother. All right, y'all. Well, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Hope to see you guys tomorrow bright and early. Happy Tuesday. Be careful for Macaulay Culkin hour. Ooh, that's going to be nice. LF Briol, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Market makers, do yo thing. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss, Sato. Tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss.